Yeah. We learned them last week.
Do you know how to do all that on the website?
Yeah, I was like, there's a lot of interfaces. Second part starts. We're going to do a 15-minute break and then we start.
Yeah, I'm just, since this isn't my laptop, I'm just opening up my email.
Feature, so if you have multiple things on a
If we miss that first class, would we be lost in this?
No, this is the first class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The second class is after the 15 minutes.
Okay, so.
And that just goes over the most advanced parts of the
So I
whole
want to, all right, I'm willing to do that.
I mean, there's a bunch more to learn about HTML. It is supposed to be like a basics of HTML, bootcamp kind of thing that can help you survive. Everything else is just icing on top.
Yeah, but I just did.
And if anyone else wants to continue learning about HTML at the end of part 2, I recommend this. That is free. Teaches you CSS and more advanced HTML, and even more languages if people are that interested.
It seems like I should have
What's
to
up,
go
Pete?
out right
Fun yet?
Yeah,
Always.
surface.
Days in adventure.
So 2 paragraphs, and the next idea is that we're going to be making text bold and italic. So these are going to use tags. That's one hint. Does anyone know how to make text bold or italic, one or the other? Strong. Text.
and then B.
And, yeah, and M. So does anyone else know the wrong ways to do it?
Is there a limit?
B and I are the wrong ways to do it. I'll just copy this thing again to show you the differences. So I have 4 paragraphs on my screen.
True.
This is bold, this is bold, this is italic, this is italic. They look identical, and for all intents and purposes they are, except for the code that made them. This paragraph was made by Strong. Strong as in strongly emphasized. So I guess the people who made the standards thought bold was, bolder than italic. It's a little bit more stronger on the eyes, a little bit more attention grabbing.
All your content goes into your body.
B for bold was the old way of doing it. It still works as shown, just it's what's called deprecated, which means it's being phased out. It's not unsupported. People still support it, but it's advised to not use it.
He said, yeah.
If you have paper photos.
Actually, I was somewhere.
Your text isn't centered, your image isn't centered, like if I just do.
I mean, they say it's great, but I just...
Very cool things like CSS and more advanced HTML tags and elements. The place that I recommend first is codeacademy.com. There's tons of other resources out there that are, this is free. Other resources are free as well. There's W3 Schools, there's WebMaker, there's webplatform.com,
Code.org.
code.org. Your resources are almost unlimited. Code Academy is one of the more popular, so easy to use resources out there. It's almost like JSPen. You have your text editor, and then you have a little window with your output. and it walks you through, it teaches you CSS, you have the option to learn JavaScript and other programming languages that are popularly used on the web, such as Python, teaches, what's the other one, Ruby, and one more I can't remember. It's a great website, completely free, gives you badges to track your progress, and it's just a great experience. So if you have any, now's the time for questions.
With the divs, just so in general, what you were saying, you were alluding to that with the way things are now, we shouldn't necessarily use those. We should more learn CSS to be the next step here to be able to do that.
Well, there's a yes and no to that. There's a balance. Because you can use CSS on divs, and that is very useful in some cases. It's very dependent on the approach you're taking. Is Ryan here? Like, Ryan would have a really good answer for that. Like, how would you recommend using divs versus CSS?
Well, a div really can't be used without CSS because a div is
Right.
just an empty container. You'd have to use inline styles like he was showing earlier, style equals Coco, and then he was putting font families and stuff. You would have to use inline styles for divs, or you can do external CSS sheets, which does require you, to go in and learn CSS. So if I were to, give you advice on what to do next, finish up HTML and then go to CSS. HTML and CSS, like you said earlier, go hand in hand. They're like brother and sister. They need to go together. So CSS is definitely something you should learn. If you guys run WordPress stuff,